Dylan, your home is so, like, I feel like you guys go to a church every Sunday morning. Blessings.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit here.
Where did you want to sit? In my lap?
That was one option.
Hey, first time I get to hear your voice rather than actually you calling me.
Yeah, you're Mr. Give Me a Call.
Radio, Spotify, Cashbox, Google Podcast, Tumblr.
Why does that such a sarcastic look on your face?
You can always follow us on Twitter.
Don't worry about it.
Pod, and
Don't do that. Don't do it still. It's not you, it's me.
Pod 33.
Cheers to me. Jay Luke, your favorite thing. Jay Luke.
Bet you can't do that with a can of dip.
Why would I want to do that with a can of dip? I did it once.
And welcome everybody to another live edition of First and Goal. And considering the mic wasn't there, you just heard Dave and Dillon talking over the whole freaking time of the introduction there, because I can't hear over that thing with our new thing. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I can't hear myself that great either, so that's finally a plus. Hello, Dillon. Hello, Dave.
Hello, fellas and ladies and germs that are listening. Breaking news. Patrick Mahomes out of the Denver-Kansas City game.
That's right.
I just watched a video online of the trainer putting Patrick Mahomes' kneecap back in place. He might be done for a while.
But he did walk off on his own power.
I got that, but when you pop stuff back in and out of place, it tears stuff.
Yeah, it didn't look very good. The teammates were panicking immediately. Literally, just about everyone on the field came over and gave him a pat on the shoulder. But, I mean, he walked out of the x-ray room looking good, so didn't get to hear from Aaron Andrews just yet. But welcome to the watch party, everyone.
Yeah. That was time. I mean, that was just wow. Right before we're on, I called Jay. I'm like, oh my God, Mahomes is out. Sorry, Dylan.
Which defense is supposed to be rated higher in this game? Because so far it's been KC all over the Broncos.
It should have been Denver. They haven't allowed a touchdown before tonight in 9 quarters. And then I'm watching Kansas City go up and down the field.
Yeah. I'm watching Joe Flacco fumble the ball like he just had popcorn.
Joe Flacco looks lost. I just talked to Keith Richards on Monty's thread. He looks lost. I mean,
the Rolling Stones?
No.
Not that Keith Richards. I wish I had that connection. Anyways, but doesn't Flacco look lost to you guys? Like, he just looks like if the play's not right, it's just lost.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be, he doesn't have that clock ticking in his head when the pressure's on. For whatever reason, I mean, I watched that last play when he got the fumble, the right tackle literally blocked no one. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on as far as calling protections and who's supposed to be where, if that was on Flacco not identifying the blitzer or what. But, yeah, you're right. No mobility plus no reading the defense equals bad news for Broncos tonight.
I mean, they don't have Chris Jones in. They don't have Xavier Williams. They should be rushing this thing down their throat. And instead they want to put the ball in Joe Flacco's hands.
Oh, man, how close was Lindsey to breaking that one?
Yeah, he really wanted it.
Jay, you are just beyond lucky that our first and goalers cannot see your face right now. Or that disgusting man beater you have on.
What's up, Eminem?
It is freaking hot as hell down here in the boiler room. I got a fire going, man. And I'm sitting right below the 2 main pipes that go to zone 1 and 2 upstairs.
All I picture is Ace Ventura on the back of a rhino.
So I tweeted before the game.
This is all that will contain my large muscles.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought tonight was going to be a good night for the pair of Sutton and Sanders, more so Sutton. Thus far, I don't believe Emmanuel Sanders has a single catch.
He does.
Gordon-
He
Oh, he
has.
does.
He converted a third down earlier.
Okay, so he's got that. Sutton has the very nice catch downfield that we all thought was going to be intercepted.
Yes.
He's had much more of a role thus far. I'd like to see Noah Fant more involved in the game. Oh, that's a tough one right down the middle. But, yeah.
Yeah, but that should have been caught. That hit his hands. That should have been caught. That's like Jimmy Graham for the Packers all over again.
At this point in the game, unfortunately for all of the Philip Lindsay / Royce Freeman owners, it looks like Broncos are going to be in catch-up mode and throwing the ball.
Yeah, which isn't good for Joe Flacco or the Denver offense.
Yeah.
How
Man,
good does my trade look now? Hey, you know what, Dave? You have to do news updates so we can actually get into the fantasy files because I literally shit the bed on Tuesday. Fell asleep at 8:30 on Dillon's fantasy files night, so he gets extra time tonight. We have plenty to talk about. So
That's fine, but
Dave.
guess what? I still
News
stand
update.
on my hill. I vote no.
Your vote was freaking overturned, man.
hey,
I'll die on my hill. Anyways, news updates. Biggie, Jalen Ramsey gets traded to the Rams.
cha-ching.
Ramsey is a really great talent, but I don't feel he warrants 2 firsts and a 4th. It's 1 pick shy of a Khalil Mack trade, and Khalil Mack is like elite. So I don't know. 2 firsts. I mean, the Rams are giving up 2 more years of not being in the first round. That makes 5 years in a row, folks.
Yeah.
That's big. I mean, they're missing out on that much talent from the first round. And if you go look at the past 5 years, the Rams could have filled a ton of defensive holes rather than just paying free agents.
Oh, yeah. Now you're in a situation where Aaron Donald, ton of money. Jared Goff, ton of money.
Bingo.
Can you re-sign Brandon Cooks?
Todd
Can
Gurley.
you re-sign Todd Gurley? I mean, it's just unreal the money they have allocated around this team trying to get that Super Bowl window closed. And, boy, it's going to be tough fiscally for LA the next couple of years.
I don't get it. I understand Marcus Peters is a lesser talented corner, but he's not bad. That's the thing. Like, Peters isn't that bad, and you were only paying $2 more million. You still could have kept both your first rounders. Talib went to IR. I don't know.
Can I just say
I
this?
felt it was
This was a
overpaid by
desperate move by a team that's desperate. That it's gonna. Jalen Ramsey does not fix any of the problems of why they have lost.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
They've had offensive
agree.
line issues and are going forward, where those first-round picks could help. I told you at the beginning of the season, guys, what did I say about Todd Gurley with his arthritis? He's done.
Oh, his knee was going to wear down.
And that he'll be cut by the end of the year because his guaranteed money is
Not
mostly
cut,
all paid off.
IR.
He will be cut. No, at the end of the season, in the off-season, they will cut him.
Dillon, should we have a wager on that? Because I know you know as well as I know he won't be cut.
Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Well, he won't now because why? Because you gave up the first-round pick that you could have replaced him with, right? And so now you're going to have to use your second-round pick to go after linemen because Whitworth is not playing another year. He's 39 years old, and he's getting beat up this season. That's one of your issues. What they should have been doing if they wanted to actually make a move to not really be panic and be smart, you would have went out and gave up those 2 first-round picks and that 4th-round pick for Trent Williams. He'd fix a problem, and he's 27 years old. Okay?
Yeah,
I
but
would
he
rather
wants more
have
money than
a
Whitworth does.
Huh?
He wants more money than what Whitworth is making.
Yeah, but Whitworth is 39. It's not, and Whitworth is,
I got
is
it.
past his
But
prime.
Williams
Come on, stop
would
arguing
be more
this.
expensive.
You always do this, Dave. It's ridiculous. Move on.
Because we just talked about the fiscal part,
I'm
and he's
eating
more
my-
expensive. I hope you hang out with Pennywise in your boiler sewer basement.
Jay, those aren't some bad pecs, man. How many push-ups do you crank out in a sitting?
Good Lord. Folks, this is news updates. This is not naked news. I apologize.
I do about 200 a day, but I do 4 sets of 10 on 210 on my bench
And now
press
you've done
twice
it,
a day.
Dillon. Here we go.
It shows. Keep it up.
Well, it's because I broke my neck.
Ugh.
That's the only way to keep my neck from getting sore. Seriously, no, I'm not kidding, dude. I weigh like 30 more pounds now than I did when I fought. And I bench about 100 more pounds.
Speaking of Marcus Peters, he was traded in all this Jalen Ramsey action to the Ravens. And Rams cooped up a 5th rounder and also Kenny Young. It's a good move for the Ravens because they needed some secondary people. Theirs were banged up on the outside, so they get someone that can come back in until their top corner can get off injury. So it works.
It's a good move.
Baltimore needs it. I mean, they're smart on that. They didn't give up a lot. They gave up a backup inside linebacker and a 5th round pick that they just got in a trade for, I believe.
Now, the Baltimore move was a smart move by their GM.
Yeah.
They got better value
Rams,
on their incoming player than what they gave up to get said incoming player. And Peters is.
Well,
it's not, this is the funny thing about why he got traded and people aren't talking about it. It has nothing to do with his production on the field. He's been their best corner this year. It has nothing to do with his attitude like it was in Kansas City why he got traded. He's been a model citizen, and everybody in that locker room seemed to really mesh well with him. This was purely about money going forward. And then that's what made it funny because they traded him for pure salary cap implications and reasons, and then turn around and trade and give up a bunch and they're going to end up having to pay Jalen Ramsey way more than anything they would have had to pay him. Plus, they gave up a boatload of draft capital. This literally is one of the dumbest moves you're going to see in 2 or 3 years. It's going to go down as one of the dumbest moves by an organization on the Rams end. Well,
49ers basically
people are
put
loving
them in
it
a
right now
tailspin
because they're they're all smitten with Jalen Ramsey and what he has done. But the reality of is what he's been doing this year and even last year does not warrant what they gave up to be. He's not a premier. He's a really good player that has showed premier ability flashes, but he is not at that premier talent that they just paid for on a consistent basis. They overpaid. They got fleeced.
This is the big picture. This is all a result of Kyle Shanahan owning the Rams. Yep. They did that 20-7 win wasn't just like a 13-point spread that was an okay. No, they put a whooping on the Rams, folks. San Fran. I went and rewatched that game. San Fran is a really dang good team, and this is all a result of that. Kyle Shanahan and his offense put a hurting on that Rams defense, and guess what? Now they went and in a result, in a whim, just poof, Jalen Ramsey, 2 first and a 4th. Well, it is, Dillon. Next thing you know, they got beat. They turn around, they move Peters, and everyone's like, okay, it's kind of obvious.
They also traded for
Peters
a center
is gone.
From
Cleveland. Austin Corbett from Browns for a 5th rounder. Yep. I think that was the 5th rounder they got from Baltimore for trading Peters.
Basically. But, I mean, that was actually an intelligent move. He's a pretty decent player. But, again, what they gave up is it's going to really hinder this team going forward. They have a salary cap problem now with all the players they've paid, and then the age of some of the players they paid and voids it's going to create. And now you really needed that draft capital. Like, okay, I know this is going to sound funny, but Dillon, I want you to kind of jump in on this one too right away. Sometimes for certain teams, 1st through 3rd round picks are actually more valuable than other teams because of their roster situations. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the Rams,
for sure.
For like the Green Bay Packers, their 1st round pick the next couple of years is not near as valuable for their franchise after what they did the last couple of years and what they did in free agency compared to the Rams because of the age and where their players are. Packers have young ascending players on, market value contracts or lower. The Rams have aging, declining players on over market value, whereas even their young players they just paid are paid at the top tier because they set the market. So their picks really were more valuable, so to speak, going forward because of their roster situation than a team like the Packers. Or even though the Vikings aren't doing as well, their age and roster make